Okay, this video is going to be suggesting ways to deal with all of your extra Christmas cards, greeting cards. So just cut out this little instruction in the back of a card, recycle me. So that usually just means put it in the paper bin, but I'm going to suggest to you ways of reusing them rather than just recycling them. Okay, first of all, you have ones that are very big, and you don't want to chop them up in any way. So there was writing on the back of that, so you can cover any writing. I'm just going to trim this again. So I sometimes use quite big tags, so I'm just going to around the corners here, and you can punch a hole and hang it from a gift bag. So that's one type of way to recycle your cards. Okay, so one, and I'll show them all again. This is another nice one. You could, if you had a big enough hole, punch to a circle, but again, I'm just going to round the corners. This one's blank with a verse on the back, so that's perfect. Sometimes this thing sticks on me, probably because it's too full. That's it now. You can ink it, and there we have, I'm just estimating there, another one. You can put an eyelet in it if you want. This one here is quite big, and yet I don't want to lose any of the title, so I'm just going to cut it quite close. And I think when you cut, you could again chop it down a little bit. Maybe I will do that. Just a wee bit off the top. I think when you have a cut edge, then you would maybe not too much of the trees. You would probably need to ink it, because you've now got a sort of a rough edge. So I'll just round these again. So I think when you round corners on recycled gift cards, greeting cards, it then looks, it doesn't look like you just cut out a Christmas card and resent it. I think I probably cut it a little close there. So I might I'll maybe put the whole off centre just. And then tie it to a gift bag like that. Getting quite a lot of rubbish here. So that was my most simple idea. This again is another one. You probably would want to cover the back of that as well. Okay, but I'm going to show you another idea for this one later on. Okay, somebody who loves Highland cows, that's a perfect gift note. It's really more a gift tag. Okay, this one here I'm going to actually just cut in half. So you might say, well, the image, the pattern goes the whole way through. Well, let's just see what happens when we cut. It's not a focal image as such. And that worked on one side, but not so much on the other. I'm just going to cut a wee snip off here. It's like a continuous pattern that goes off the edge of your tag design, so it doesn't really matter. So let's do proper tag corners, and again you can round the bottom, and that makes a very interesting gift tag. Again, I'm not going to take time to ink them all. This one here, I can snip a little, it just feels a little tall, so I'm just going to round this one completely, not sloped tag corners. I don't want to punch through Christmas. So there's that one. As I said, I'll show you them all at the end. Okay, next layer. This is just one single focal image. And you think, well, Waterkin is too big for a tag. So I'm going to try and cut it in quarters. I've done all the measurements. So these might be more for sticking on a gift. So let's see how that worked out. Some of them are better than others. So this one is definitely quite nice, and this one. But still, I would use those. Maybe just put it in the hole in the corner, like so. So I'm just going to quickly do that and go through a couple other ideas. This is a good project for a group of children. Keep the Christmas card safe. Coming up to Christmas, sometimes they don't have the means to make cards or make tags, so I would very often make them with them. And they have these beautiful things that people think they spent a little bit of money on, and they didn't. Probably gifting back cards somebody gave them before. And as I said, I'll show you all at the end. This is an example of how you can, this is just a card, one whole card, this bit here, okay, and I've just cut it out on the Big Shot. So, sorry, that was the back one. I cut that one from the back. So there was a picture on the back. So this, I was wondering why I cut the word off so close. I'm going to use the back. I can cover that if I think it's too much. That's just hugs on it. And there's like little embossing there too. So this one looks like a fail because it's slipped through the die cut machine. There's nothing really to stop us cutting off. There's a nice marked line there to cut to, sort of like a crease line rather than a. Okay, so that's another one. This one had the message brother and sister-in-law with love at Christmas, so that's a very specific one. A small tiny one, and this is from the inside of the card. Okay, so even little tiny images in the inside of the card can be used. That will need covered. Okay, this is another card. It looks like the title completely dominates the front. How could I use that? But if you place your die cuts carefully, you can get little images there. And even there's a bit of the W from Wish there, but you wouldn't really know that. So that's another. Place your die cuts. This is another card. I just stuck them down so you can see The main image is a church, but it doesn't have to be the main image on your tag. The post box, I think, becomes the main image. This is really nothing at the bottom, shading and a few stars, but it becomes a tag. Even the back of the card can become plain tags. That needs covered, maybe not bother with that one, but I was just showing you an example. And then just to say is the brand name. And again, the way to cover them, in fact that's what I've cut that out for. I have cut out something to stick on the back. So I'll just do that. I've hidden my glue. The last time I used this glue it wouldn't come out. So I'm glad to see it's moving. So just be aware that you're cutting out sort of like a mirror image. So there was writing on opposite sides of those cards, but even if you cut it wrong, like it's not too hard to cut. Even backing from some coffee dyed paper. So those are just a set of tag die cuts. This one here is similar to the one I just used as a pig. Maybe you want to write a longer note to someone, like for neighbours and things. I would write a longer note. I'm just showing you how you can place your die on the card and they're open so you can see where you're putting stuff. Okay, there's maybe another one down here waiting to be cut. I've just got another die here. It's early in the morning and my fingers aren't working, so there's another one waiting. There's a wee bit of purple heather there. Don't know whether you want the animal fur or not, but you know what? They're going to the recycling bin. What's the worst can happen? They go to the recycling bin in 2 parts. That's the worst that can happen. Okay, this one here, a little door. There's many others. I can't show you because they're all stuck down, but there's many other possibilities here for little windows, even thank you cards. So you've got a clear back on it, and very often the front is not, this side of the front is not written on, so it's fairly easy. So don't forget the inside of the cards, the paper. And it's lighter weight, but you can back it on. You can cut out another piece from the card and back it onto it. So there's things waiting to happen there. And this nice card that's unwritten on is also good. There's a lovely bit of matte card. So that one's. I was just going to show you ways if you don't have die cuts. Take a tag that you have. So when you take, maybe you've bought a pack of tags and you lay them down, you can't actually see through them. So draw around them onto a clear piece of plastic. And then that gives you the opportunity to place it on your card where would I like it. And you can put a wee mark top and bottom and then put your solid piece of tag down and draw around it and cut around it in that way. And there's, you can remember tags can go sideways and you can cut out, I'll just cut out this one. You can cut out words, doesn't have to be images. I don't really send cards very much. I don't always just send recycled ones. I usually do those with the kids that are looking for things to send to parents. You can cut a slot punch. The bottom looks a bit unfinished. So there's another one. But that one there is just waiting. You don't have to have the whole bird. Decide where you, oh look, the whole of the plastic over its eye is perfect position. Okay. This one again, it seems as if how could you cut that? But again, place your plastic over it and you will be able to see it. And even this here where the C's coming in, well, I can make this a little smaller. So that helps you place it. So you can have one that says Christmas and one that says Merry. So that's one waiting to happen there. Okay, so maybe I'll just do that. And it's going to be slightly smaller, but that's okay. I can trim. That's permitted. And you end up, even though it looks like one image, you end up with two. And I hope I can see this. I'm going to tilt it. Okay, I'll tidy up the corners and everything. Probably trim this a little bit. Check it straight. And then this one is going to have to be adjusted slightly because it ran off the card. But that's okay, I'll do that. I'll show you how you can do that. The Merry seemed a little off center, so I'm going to just trim here, make it a skinny tag, maybe even skinnier. Okay, so I cut this slope. Oh, where did I cut that slope? There. So I'm going to flip it over and mark on here. Okay. And once you ink those up and punch them, they'll suddenly look like tags. Okay, I'll just do a round punch on this one. Okay, I'm not sure what I was going to do with that. Yes, just the window idea again. So again, it looks like a continuous pattern, but you can cut out a couple out of that one. Okay, so I'm going to just set up all of the things I've done. Now you see them here. This is only about a third of the pile because people give me their cards too for the children that I have art lessons with. Okay, so that's the first group. A few more. Surrounded by rubbish now. I'll just put these all on top. So, and once you ink them, and maybe ink these two so you can see those. Not so happy with this one because I've cut that off a little bit. Okay, so we'll do a wee bit of inking and that will be sufficient. And then a little ribbon I like to ink so that when you write on the back as well. Okay, I don't think I have any ribbon handy to put in there, but hopefully that gives some ideas. You can cut a template out and just use it to draw around. If you have die cuts, I don't say you need them because I only use them every so often. You can cut out a piece of card with a die cut and use it as your template then to cut others. But if you've got a die cut, I suppose you don't need a template. Okay, thank you for watching. For the love of making books. And of course these can go into journals as well. They don't have to, a winter journal, a Christmas journal. Thank you for watching.